Go back to a time when you felt stuck, tunnel-visioned, forced to choose from the options in front of you, none of it feeling right. If only in that moment you had someone to open up your mind, to illuminate a path you hadn't thought about before. I remember feeling stuck when I was a first-time manager. I was young in my career, and while I went through Crash Course Management 101, what I learned in the classroom didn't translate to what was happening in the moment. I didn't know how to help my team. But first, I want to take you back to my first day in America. It was my first plane ride, my first everything. Coming from India, I'd only heard about America, the land of opportunities, and this was my chance to experience it. I wore the coolest outfit. It was a polka dot dress. I had on bright red lipstick. I landed into Chicago, greeted by family who I hadn't met before, nor had I seen so many cars on the road. We arrived at their house, and I was so charmed by the vastness of it all. As I took it all in the corner of my eye, I saw this bright blue water outside. It was an outdoor pool attached to a house. I couldn't believe it, and I had to check it out. I bolted towards that pool, and bam! I crashed into a glass sliding door. As I crash landed into the US, so did everything else around me. Besides my dad, we didn't speak any English. We started life from scratch, a very rocky start compared to the comforts that we were used to. But we were given a chance, and we were determined to make the most of it. For me, this was my opportunity to pursue an education and a career, one without being held back by outdated social pressures put on females. And then there were so many firsts. First time navigating high school, ACTs, college, jobs. As immigrants, our mindset growing up was stability. And there were a few stable careers that we knew of: doctor, lawyer, engineer, accountant. Out of the options presented, I went down the doctor path. And I started to study for the medical entrance exam called the MCAT. English being my second language, standardized exams have always been difficult for me. So I locked myself in a room and studied nonstop for 2 months straight. I withdrew from my friends and family. My parents, feeling concerned, decided to drop off some food. This was their way of checking up on me. My dad, he sits next to me. He puts his hand on my lap, looks me in the eye, and asks, "How are you?" And I just break down, ugly tears gasping for air. To which he responded, "Why do you want to be a doctor?" "Because I want to help people, Dad." He listened and asked, "Is this the only way to help people?" I didn't know what to say. I fumbled my way through that conversation. What I didn't realize is how powerful that question was for me. See, horses wear blinders, and it minimizes all distractions. It gives them a single vision to focus on the path in front of them. I had my own blinders. I thought the only path in front of me was to be a doctor, until that moment when my dad asked that question, which helped to remove my blinders and catapulted me into a new path, one in healthcare consulting, where I could leverage my strengths and help people. While consulting, I pursued my master's in learning and organizational change at Northwestern University. And as part of this program, I was given a leadership coach. I had no idea what that meant. I showed up to my first coaching session, and I shared some of the frustrations I was having with my manager about how I felt like I wasn't getting the feedback that I wanted. As we unpacked my frustrations, my coach simply listened to me and said, "Foram, have you considered that maybe your manager has a different way of communicating and it doesn't have to be on your terms?" Another moment where my blinders came off, and I was sold. I had to know what was behind this experience. The little I knew about leadership coaching is that it's for the elite. Executives have coaches, and I'm no executive. I'm young in my career. Athletes have coaches, and I'm no athlete. Unless if you count that time that I played on the high school basketball beat team. I needed to know more, so I pursued my coaching certification and did my own reconnaissance. Was I atypical in my lack of knowledge about coaching? Did other people secretly have coaches and I just didn't know about it? I spoke to friends, family, colleagues, and most people hadn't heard of coaching. How can that be? How can something so powerful remain a mystery. I narrowed my findings into two things: awareness and accessibility. Most people just didn't have awareness to coaching or had false ideas to what coaching was. Second was accessibility. Even if people had awareness to coaching, they didn't have access to it because they couldn't afford it. It was too expensive. Well, what about people like you and me? Working professionals who want to invest in themselves, who want to be better, who want to forge their own path. And nothing like this exists. Until I met my business partner, Nicole. We knew that coaching could not be out of reach. We knew we had to solve for two problems: awareness and accessibility. So we formed our company with one objective: to make high-quality leadership coaching accessible to working professionals. I want to share a story about one of these professionals, Sahana. Sahana is a newly promoted director. She's bright, talented. She's the right person for the role. Through her coaching, Sahana realizes that she avoids conflict. She makes decisions for the sake of harmony, rather than doing what's right for the business or by her team. Or that time that we worked with Izzy, who, because of her imposter syndrome, held herself back until she built up that confidence to advocate for a seat at the table. Now, this isn't about the coach. It's about what coaching enables you to do. Coaching is a catalyst to help you overcome your barriers. Coaching does two things. It helps to remove your blinders and gives you the tools to create your own path. Imagine there's a brick wall in front of you, and there are two doors. And you have the option of going through door 1 or door 2. What if none of these doors feel right for you? What if you want to create your own door? Now imagine you have a hammer, and you can break down that wall and create a door just for you. And that's what coaching has done for me, is remind me that I always have a hammer in my toolbox, that I can forge my own path. This is why I'm obsessed with coaching and making sure that everybody knows what coaching is. Coaching shatters the rules and the barriers we have in our heads. It assumes that there is no one way. I often think about what life would have been like had I not been on this path. I would have been fine. Why would I settle for fine? I'm the girl who came to the US not knowing the people, the language, or the culture. I was given a chance. So I took control and forged my own path, one without blinders. Go back to that time when you felt stuck. Imagine you had a coach with you to guide you, to encourage you, to remove your blinders. I wonder, what barriers would you have overcome? What opportunities would you have created? And that's what I want for you, to walk your path and to create your story.